Hi everyone, so today I want to try out this large bow die. I was going to say die set, but it's one huge die if you guys recall that Die & Press just put out on their site. They did send this item free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And it may be sold out already, but you know, I'll try to link that there for you guys. Currently I do not have a discount code, but it should still be Teal Tuesday when you're watching this, so you know, whatever items might be available, you're going to want to use their code TEAL50 for 50% off your purchase. So again, that only runs for a few days, so hopefully I'll have this video out for that. I think I will. So it is just this big guy. Like I said, I have a feeling it's probably sold out because this thing is amazing and it's going to make a really nice bow. But in my mind, run this through some felt. Oh my gosh, how cool would that be, right? Or even fabric that you have, or like vinyl or whatever it is. I mean, it's going to be really cute. Obviously with those, I would probably use like a hot glue to glue them together. But I'm going to run this through some paper and then I'm going to design a box for this to go on top of. I think that'll be fun. So I'm just going to get right to it. So yeah, I'm just going to grab some paper. You know, this is probably the size of the paper that Die & Press had put out that goes into their large marquee, you know. But again, I gave you sizing and all that in a different video, in the original video, so I'll link that video for you guys. But today we're just going to hop right to it. So let me grab some paper. Maybe, should I get a design paper? Maybe, why not? We'll see. Well, no, maybe it's a solid color, because if I'm going to make a box for it, or maybe a solid color box and then some pattern paper for this. Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, I'll be right back. How about this one? It's just some paper. On the back side has dots, and you're going to see both sides, you know, if you can look into the bow, so I think that'll be fun. And what I do appreciate is that this is all straight. They didn't do anything like in a weird way to make it fit or anything, so if you have a pattern on your paper, you're definitely going to get a nice straight pattern if that's what you want. But again, I mean, I can kind of eyeball this. I don't think I'm going to try to get it dead center on anything because this one does have stripes. Obviously on this side, you know, it doesn't matter where I place it. But I think it'll be fine. So let me see if there's anything that, so at least each piece gets a piece of this stripe that goes down the middle. Maybe I'm paying attention to that. Or not down the middle, but like somewhere in here. Okay. And that means I'm going to trim my paper down because this is an A2 size piece of cardstock. But I lined it up in a different area there, you know. Okay, so I'm just going to run that through and I'll be right back. I did trim the paper down to go down through my ground marquee, but I mean, if I wanted to use the platinum machine, my Spellbinders Platinum, I didn't have to trim it at all. Or if I want to put it in like my tangerine, I wouldn't have to do any trimming either. But there we go. They're all our pieces. Okay, so you know, I already kind of went over the instruction in my previous video. Oh, that one's still on there. Let me get a little bit closer because that also helps this failing camera focus. I'm so sorry about that. I really don't want to buy a new camera this year, but maybe during Black Friday, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, basically the instruction, if I recall, says to do that, and look at that. I mean, that really lines up really nicely even with the plaid pattern, but they did say to do this. Right, one and then the other, and I'm looking right down the middle. I mean, whatever I think middle is. Right. And if I recall, yes, okay, there you go. Okay, it's saying to apply adhesive to back of the bow die cuts. Oh, that's after we put them together, right? Because yeah, they want you to do a little zhuzhing to make them round and all that. Or you can flatten it out. It's, you know, whatever you want for your project. Center, bring it forward. Okay, I just want to see what they're thinking. So, you know, they're kind of going back and forth here. Like this, to me, it would be the back of it, in the back. But over here, they're not showing that there was a crease there. Oh yeah, because it's the back of the thing. But then over here, you don't see it. So you do whatever you want as far as where you want that junction to be, you know, is what I would say. But we have that guy. And each one of these guys, we are going to, and I probably should just turn a hot glue gun on, but that's okay. So you're going to give it a zhuzh in the direction, like if this is the color you want facing out, obviously in that direction. If this is the color you want facing out, do it in the, you know, have that facing up. But we're going to do this. And then we're going to glue these guys down in here. And I'm trying to see if they should overlap or they just go right down. Okay, well, we'll see. It's hard for me to tell if they're supposed to go one and then the other one. I have given you this tip in the past, like if you just give that a little score, you can kind of hold that down. It looks like they're going to be one and the other one. They're not overlapped, at least not the way I'm doing it. Yeah. There we go. And of course you're going to hold it for a little bit. And we're going to do that for all 4? Okay. So there are 4 of these guys. And then this guy, same thing. They want you to really kind of bump it up in the center because you're going to put it on top of itself. So I'm going to, again, score that down, score this down, just to make it a little bit easier to glue that together. So again, I'll glue the other ones exactly the way I showed you. And then these guys like this. And again, if you just want to flatten it out, you have a really cool flat bow. That'll be very nice. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, this one's still wet, but I'm gonna put those to the side. So again, it says to put glue. Do you want this side facing up, this side facing up? Oh, that one moved on me, so oh well. That's up to you. You're gonna cover it anyway. I just put facing up whatever side seems flattest and the other side seems roundest, right? So they're showing it to go like this, a little bit crooked. You're still gonna leave a space. I don't know if you can see that. So this one just off, to the left here, and then this one, and same kind of thing, and then the other one. But if you want to fill it out more, I mean, that's up to you, however you want to place this. But for now, I'm going to put some glue here. I know it says to put glue on the back of this thing, but I'm going to put it there, and I'm trying to make it look like what they're showing, where it's just a little bit touching that guy. Did I not make this very straight? I was like, now that I look at it, it doesn't seem very straight, but that's okay. That guy. And then another piece, another one curving around, just missing that, at the tip of that one. Okay, so I'm going to hold those 2 for now. They pretty much have to, when you do this one, you can't really manipulate it much, right? There's a lot of shape to this thing. Oh my gosh, and then 2 more? Like, that's crazy. I mean, honestly, if you just want to do that and pop your center in, I think you could do that. Right, if you want to make it like a quicker bow, a smaller, maybe a little smaller one, just something like that. That's cute. But we're going to continue on. I was going to give it a minute, but you know what? Oh, well, I'm just going to go for it. So now this one, I'm going to put some glue there. I'm still scared. I guess this one has to go. I don't know. I want to fill that spot in. Do you just not care about those squares? I guess at this point. See how it's very squared off in the center? It's hard to get this guy in here, but that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna just push this guy in, I suppose. I think they're flattening out the one underneath just a little bit. Because if you go with the square again, you're gonna end up just on top of the one from before, and that's not what we're looking for. And since I don't want to hold this down all day, I'm gonna go ahead and put some glue, and I guess you're supposed to maybe put those 2 together. It doesn't show that. And then this guy, I'm going to make that square. Oop, okay. Like these 2 together like this, right? And then pop it in the center again. So I'm going to hold it down all at once. There's a lot going on here. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of bow. Again, this is what I was saying. I would probably use hot glue. I can't even tell if I'm in the center because the way it just kind of popped in there. Hold on. Okay. All right, that looks good. Maybe turn it a little more this way. And I'm going to hold that. And I'll be back. Okay, guys. Yeah, definitely hot glue because I was just holding this until I knew it wasn't going to come apart. So yeah, hot glue will help out with that. I'm going to put glue down on here and we will see if that is enough to keep it down because I'm just popping it down the center. I'm not trying to squish it, so I'm just going to hold it like that until it just holds on. So just popping it down to the center. Okay guys, so that is my bow. It is a fantastic bow. It is a good size. So let's see. I mean, probably like a 5-inch bow. It looks like 5 inches this way, 5 inches, so 5-inch bow. I just grabbed some paper, some more cardstock. It's the same cardstock that I used this, but I'll use this opposite side for this topper. For a box, if that's a 5-inch bow, I think I made a 6-inch box the other day, but I was gonna say I can just cut this at 8.5 inches and make a 6-inch box, right? This is gonna sit on. So I have 2 pieces of cardstock, and I just went with this craft card. Why not? So we're gonna make a quick box. Let me see. So I'm just gonna have an 8.5 inch square. This paper is like wants to fight me. I'm gonna turn it this way. So that means on the 11 inch side, I want to take off a couple inches here. So we already have 8.5 in the one direction. So let's do 2.5 in the other direction off. Just making sure this is nice and straight, hopefully. So 2.5 inches off of here. And hopefully that'll be, let me think, 2.5, 2 plus 8 is 10, yeah. All right, so we have 2 8.5 inch squares. And I'm just gonna use a box maker and make this easy. Like quick. I'm not going to discuss too much more of doing this on a paper trimmer, but let's go to the inches side. So this is my top here, my lid. So again, on a box maker, you have a lid side, you have a base side. So this is my top, so the lid. And so I am just going to, I say 8.5 inches, so 6, that's 2.5, 1 1/4. Just literally made a box just like this the other day. 1 1/4 all around. And of course you can put a big bow on a smaller box. I just figured I would give it some room. Okay, so that one, 1 1/4 all around on the box lid side. And if you have to turn your box maker over or whatever you have to do to go to the box base side, you're gonna do that. And still also do 1 1/4. And again, the difference here is that they're adding a 1/16 of an inch on this gap here where that's not on this one. You can see how that one's closer to the first line. And that's what makes your base a little bit smaller so that your lid fits nicely. But you still just score at 1 1/4. And if you're doing this on a paper trimmer or something else, you're going to trim it at, or you're going to not trim it, but you're going to score it at 1 and, I was going to misspeak and I don't even know what I said, but if you're doing a paper trimmer or somewhere else to trim, to go ahead and score, you're going to score it at 1 5/16, because 1 4/16 is 1 1/4 plus another 16th, okay? 1 5/16. On this, you're just 1 1/4 all around, leaving your board to give you that little gap, that space that you need. Okay, for both of these things, I'm going to do the exact same. We're going to come in here. I'm going to use a better scissor. Whenever you use scissors like this, I have like kind of a bulky tip. When you go to cut it, it just gives you an extra and it tears your paper almost every time. So use the scissors you're more comfortable with, but this one with that fine point, it doesn't do that as much. So I'm just going to come in and divot that away right on the score line. And this one's harder to see, but I'll do my best. I'll do exactly the same with the base. It's the same procedure. It's just going to be, you know, the measurement's a little bit different, but it's the same exact thing what I'm doing here. Trimming away a little divot there. And then go ahead and score. I don't feel like I pressed down enough on that when I was scoring. It's kind of fighting me over here. Okay, and this one. Okay, and then just glue the glue tabs. So boxes are super easy to make depending on what you're doing. I've shown you guys in the back how to make partition boxes, pizza boxes, matchbox boxes. But anyway, so you're just gonna go around and line these guys up. I always try to line up this very top because that's what's going to be more noticeable if it's crooked. But of course, the edge, you want that nicely lined up. This guy's getting full of glue. Okay. Again, kind of a little bit of a zhuzh and make sure that top edge. Because if you have it more like this, obviously it's off, but then it looks bad. So I always try to line up this top edge before I make sure that the side is also lined up nicely. Okay, all around, glue here, line it up, glue here. So you can have your lid, and the exact same thing with the box space. Just cut and do all the scoring. It's going to be the exact same thing. Okay guys, so I have my lid, my base, and you know, if we're in luck, they will fit together very nicely. There you go. And so yeah, 6-inch box. I did fire up my hot glue gun because I want to pop this on here, and obviously it has a lot of shape to it. You can see all this that needs to flatten out, and I don't want to fight it. I mean, I guess you could leave it so it's kind of up higher, some dimensionals or something, but I'm going to want to push it down. And then just looking at it again later, I probably would use hot glue the whole time because I can see where this is a little bit crooked. I would have liked for it to be Anyway, I would have manipulated it a little bit different. Okay, and then I cut these pieces off, right, to make the paper go through the ground marquee, but I mean, I could have trimmed these in a nice way, and you can still add like a strip. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, just cut it. I mean, I guess you can put the whole thing across, really, but something like that. But then cut it so that it ends off at the very end there, and you have that piece, so the piece there, or both of them, right? One and the other, or just make smaller pieces if you only have like scraps left, right? So it looks like it's wrapped. That's very cute. Okay, let's take this off of here, and wish me luck when I go to glue this on. So let me think, how do I want it? Do I want something like that? Something like this. I know when we push it down, it's gonna look a little bit different. I feel like just square it off like that's cute. Okay, we will see. I'll leave those bits. You can definitely curl that. I need to get this on here real quick. And of course, you can always get rid of those extra little bits later. Like right in there, right in there. Okay, let me try to get my finger in here. These guys, well, so you can kind of manipulate them so that they kind of come up. Be cute, right? Give a little more dimension since it is a box. Dimension is our friend. Okay. All right, guys, and that's it. But I'm going to hold this still, even though it's hot glue. And it's probably going to hold pretty quickly. This has a lot of bounce to it. I feel like it's going to push it back up. So I'm going to hold it down until I'm pretty sure that we're good here. It's the very bottom loops that are touching, actually. Okay, I'll be back. Okay. So if you have the tag maker set, you know, you can make yourself some tags. You could have tucked that under there first, glue that down or however, but you have this big bow. And again, I would definitely manipulate it a different way next time. If, like, this is kind of bothering me that it's pulling over here, what I can do is get a little hot glue and get that stuck down so that it's more, what's the word? Even. So this guy can keep refloating, that's fine, but I just wanted that piece to kind of move over. So I'm gonna hold that. I think this would be very exciting made out of felt. I think it'd be really, really fun. Okay, there you go. So it kind of straightens it out a little bit, and then this guy can kind of do its thing more over here. There we go. There we go. Happier with that. Okay. Now, you have your beautiful gift box with that big impressive bow on it. That's really, really fun. Thanks for watching, guys. I will have images coming up. Again, I'm not sure if it's still available, but I'll link to, you know, all of Diamond Press's new releases for November and try and get in there before they close out that teal 50, right? All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.